Well, hello again, fellow travellers. Here I am once again raising money for 125 by travelling the world virtually from the relative safety of my sitting room and finding out what fabulous things there are in other countries. Today I am in Finland, which is one of my favourite places in the whole world. I haven't managed to live there yet, but I have visited it probably more often than anywhere else in the world, except possibly California. So I have a fair amount of idea what Finland is like, although I will confess that I've only seen it in the summer. It's a little bit different in the winter when it snows rather a lot, but the Finns seem to cope with that okay. And the Finns are absolutely the loveliest and most friendly people I have ever met anywhere. Finland has a reputation of being one of the happiest countries in the world, and I can quite see why, because it's full of Finns. They are really quite delightful people. Now, I've been to Finland so often that I have actually been adopted into Finnish science fiction fandom. This is my certificate of adoption. It's signed by my adoptive parents, Otto Makala and Emma Hesjärvi. Quite how that works in terms of Finnish citizenship, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm very proud to be an honorary Finn. I'm going to be helped today by Heikki, who, as you can see, is a Moomin troll. Heikki's hopefully going to help me with a little bit of the Finnish language because it is really quite complicated. My Finnish is so difficult to learn that Duolingo haven't yet got round to producing a module for it. It's like pretty much no other language in Europe. The Estonians speak a language which is similar to Finnish, and there are some similarities as well between Finnish and Hungarian, but apart from that, it's nothing like the Scandinavian language. It's not a Germanic language, it's not a Latin language, it's not a Slavic language, it's not anything to do with Greek. So it really is a very strange language, and it has about 20 gazillion different vowel sounds, which makes it rather difficult if you are speaking English. English, of course, has like loads of words where you get the same word, or rather different word, but all spelled, several different words, all spelt in the same way, with the vowel sounds pronounced differently dependent on which country we happen to have stolen that word from. In American, of course, people just make up vowel sounds as they go along. I really don't understand how they do it. But in Finnish, vowel sounds are really, really important. If you get the vowel sound wrong, and they're very clearly indicated by the accents and multiple letters, then you will be pronouncing the word wrong, and you could be saying a completely different word from the one that you intended to. And that's really hard if you've grown up not having to pay that much attention to the precise sounds. It's rather like trying to learn a tonal language. But apart from the language, Finland, lovely, lovely place. Best thing in the world is sauna, and the Finns do indeed go into the sauna naked. It's a thing, and everybody seems to be perfectly relaxed about it. I've never had any trouble with it. The only people I've really found that get very nervous about it are English men, which I think says quite a lot about the English, really. So what are we going to talk about with Finland? Well, there is food, obviously. Now, Finland doesn't have much in the way of unique food in the way that, say, Mexico does. It doesn't have many culinary gifts to the world. But the Finns do cook very well, and they are blessed in particular with a large number of varieties of very yummy berries. Even the ones that we're used to are better in Finland. If you go to somebody's summer cottage in Finland and you go out into the woods, you will find wild strawberries. Now, they're only about yay big, but the taste is fabulous. They taste much better than the big bloated strawberries that you'll buy in a grocery store in Britain or America. And then there's a whole bunch of things that you don't see much anywhere else. For example, there are Lingonberries, which we don't get here. There are Cloudberries, which make a very nice liqueur here. Let's just get the sun off that. So Cloudberries grow in the northern parts of Finland and Scandinavia. There are these things, Arctic raspberries, they're called, and they are apparently unique to Finland. So there's a whole bunch of different berries that you can make lovely liqueurs from. And of course, you can make jam. And therefore, my first piece of food that I've got here is going to be made with Finnish jam. Whoa. Let's see if we can get the camera in the right place. Just see these. There. We've got, now that is a sort of British Finnish fusion in that it's cream tea made with cloudberry jam. And I shall be eating that later and making some lovely Lapsang Souchong tea bought from my fabulous friends at Books on the Hill. So fabulous jam that you can get in Finland. The other really unique thing that they have in Finland is tar. Now, don't panic, folks. It's not the sort of thing that you will put on the road. What I'm talking about is pine tar. It's a sap that you get from the pine tree. And Finland is absolutely covered in pine trees. There's loads and loads of them there. But this tar is particularly tasty. And it's used, amongst other things, to make terva. Terva is a pine tar liqueur. I'm particularly partial to it. I will warn you that I'm also very partial to Islay whiskies. So it does have something of a smoky taste to it. But if you like that sort of thing, you will probably like terva as well. And Harold, the restaurant that I'll be talking about a lot in the rest of the day, does a tar-flavoured ice cream, which is absolutely delicious. It's been a big hit with just about everybody that I've taken there. But this is the terva. Cheers. Mm. 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 Now my mouth feels so warm now. Something else the Finns are very fond of is licorice. In particular, they have something called Salmiakki, which is a sort of salted licorice. I didn't manage to find any of that in the UK in time for this, but I do have at home some genuine Finnish licorice. It's the Panda brand. So if you see that in the store, you'll know that it's come from Finland. And it's pretty much, you know, the standard licorice stuff. And if you want your licorice and your tar to go together, you can have this. This is a little candy that is tar-flavoured licorice. And it comes in little tiny pastel type of. And the other thing I decided to try to do today was to cook a traditional Finnish food. So we have that here. Hopefully you can see those. Whoa, there. I'll put some pictures of this lot on the blog as well for you. Now, those things are Karelian pies. They are made with pastry. Should be made with rye flour, although I found that impossible to get hold of in Britain at the moment, and I used whole wheat flour instead. And they're stuffed with rice that has been boiled in milk. And you have them often for breakfast, in fact, but with a topping of egg and butter and a little bit of pepper. Let's just stick some of that on one of these. And there we go. There is my homemade Karelian pie. Mm. They're not the neatest looking Karelian pies in the world. If you live in Finland, of course, you can buy them pre-made in the grocery store, which makes it an awful lot easier. I've had to roll and crimp my own, which is not the easiest thing in the world, but there you go. Karelian Pies, traditional Finnish food, and I think that's about the end in terms of, yeah, looking around, no more food stuff to talk about. But do keep an eye open, because Kevin and I will be back with another one of our tourism videos in a little while. See you later.